You help me to admit the participant from the lobby.
Yes, I will do that.
Hi everyone, thanks for joining us. Today, VK and Lifang will share about the solution from our Power Platform. And this is the TTT for across 5 different weeks, starting from today until 28th of February. So today we are mostly focusing in Power Apps covers. So later on, VK will do some of the conceptual sharing, and but together with Yifang will also provide some demo, and they will also have a role play on the solution sharing. So thanks for joining us, and I will pass it over to BK. All right, over to you, BK.
Okay, thanks, Cole. Cole, I hear there's some background music.
Yes, yes.
All right.
Yeah, he just share your screen.
So I just share my screen, yeah.
Mm.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, why? Hey. All right. Good evening, everyone. Yeah. So I think we can see the number of the friend, right? Or whatever here, right? So thanks for joining here, all right. So this is every Tuesday, like Cole say here, right? This is a 1 hour the sharing, the TTT sharing that basically is a training, the section here, right? So whoever actually is interested, actually is, yeah, all right, definitely welcome actually to this section here. So myself and Li Fang, yeah, all right. Okay, so I think we still have the more and more the participant is coming in, yeah, all right. That is a good sign, definitely. Looks actually, I think most actually are you interested actually on the Power Platform. How can help you on the business, yeah, all right. Okay, now, so without just a delay, maybe I just can be start the very quick introduction about what is the Power Platform. I think most of the actually is a business today, right or not? So they want actually is the so-called quick, right? Usually actually those are the business actually challenge. I think that is something before we talk about it, sorry, maybe I just a quick one back to my slide here, right? There is a quick one that is about myself, Lim Boon Kok BK lah, yeah, all right. I still use those the what do you call it? This the introduction slide actually is the usually before we start, then this is a talk about myself, right or not? Yeah. Okay, as probably you can see that is I started IT more than 20 years already, right? I played a multiple role, I can say so. Because actually is a trainer, so we train the different actually is the product actually is the specifically actually I focus much more on the Microsoft. So from the cloud actually is the solution, the 365 Azure cloud, and definitely also is the business solution that is the Power Platform here. All right. Okay, now so as I said earlier here, right? Why actually is the Power Platform actually is become this need, and also is the demand for the business what they call it, the business users, or even the business those decisions that maker. All right. So definitely you can see from this slide here, view here, right? That actually is a challenges, right or not? Yeah. So we say actually it's a challenge in terms they say actually is the business that required a solution. So they need actually is the what they call it, required IT. You know, actually we IT, we have the infra guy, we have the software development guy. So we need those actually is the software actually enhancement, improvement, how actually to feeling, how to overcome the challenges. Maybe this the business, the application that have the difficulty, or maybe they can't meet actually the business the requirement here. All right. So this is always the challenge. It would be there, right? Now, of course, come to today, also the expectation business today, they need fast and also they need agile. Everyone actually talk about the agile, right? Or they need to fast and need to fast change all of these things, right? So even actually just now I talk about the constraint of the IT, the resources, yeah, all of these things, and even the business today actually is still a lot of the manual, the process. Here we say the paper process. All right, you may have the complicated process. All right, you need to digital transform here, right? So in order to digital transform this thing here, right? So business actually is always want to have the quickly the solution. That's why I say it still also talk back to the IT resources, the constraint, right? Lacking or this the expertise, subject matter expert here, right? So Power Platform basically is come into this picture here. Actually, is helping, yeah, helping business filling this gap here. And Microsoft actually Power Platform also the moving this responsibility from actually is the IT the responsibility. You slowly can see actually that actually is moving to the end user the centric here. So 365 definitely actually is already a lot of those are the SaaS, the cloud, the features, example, those are SharePoint, Excel, and so on, right? So all of this actually is already exist here, right? And even actually is talk about the some of the actually is the what I call it, they actually also with this actually is existing the cloud actually is a feature is there, and also they want to digital transformation. So Power Platform again is helping business overcome these challenges here. All right, now jumping into this here, right? So as I mentioned earlier, we need to go faster, right or not? Yeah. So IT application development actually they towards the low code and high productivity. All these things actually we want to go fast, so we want to develop fast. So Power Platform actually basically is a build based on this actually is the low code, even up to no code. Yeah, we say the low code to the no code as well here. All right. So they can actually is help again this business to minimize the cost, to actually to meet this actually business want to going fast. Another actually is the important part, right? Business actually is already have the data, right or not? So the data actually can be the Excel table. It can be also had to the cloud, those are the data example stored into the SharePoint. So the data already everywhere. In terms also maybe existing their system like ERP system, maybe they have a CRM system. All this actually is already data. So it could be this data here and there, but now actually they want to have the solution actually can connect the multiple data for them actually to maybe to fill in the gap again, maybe actually to present in terms actually is the dashboard or data help actually is the business the decision maker to make the decision faster, right or not? Yeah. So this is actually with this actually is a 2 point here, right? So Power Platform actually will be content multiple actually is the I call it actually is products lah, yeah, products here, all right. So this is the overview actually is the platform, right? Not only just actually is available or actually can be integrated with the existing Microsoft 365 but also across to the Azure the platform. Example, probably you have the Azure Big Data, right? Data warehousing, maybe you already have all type of this data, even actually is across to the fully integrated actually is Dynamic 365, example, the CRM software or ERP the software, right? So that actually is on the Dynamic 365. And even actually you have a standalone application here, all right? So this is the Power Platform here, giving the business here, right? Serving the different purpose. Example, they say we talk about the first one is the Power Apps here. So allow the business actually is rapidly build the application with the low code. When we say low code, basically coding. We know actually the software developer usually actually they will those jargon the software development the coding example like C#, maybe actually is what I call Python and so on, right? Those actually require the spatial the skill how to build the application. But with this the Power Apps here, right? When we say coding, it's not those actually is technical the coding, but it's the like kind those actually is Excel the formula. All right. So this actually also enable the business user can build the application faster. And then actually is with that actually is what I call it, with the existing those understanding the formula can help them actually to start build the application. So that actually is the first thing I want to introduce is the Power Apps here, right? Definitely with the Power Apps, you already built a form, right? Just take example, I want to have a leave application. So I need to fill out a leave into a form, right? Traditionally, we have the manual form, right? Or not? So we fill out our name, we fill out actually is our leave type, how many days you want to apply leave, right? This is actually is talk about the like a form. So in the manual form, it could be in the paper form, whatever here, right? Or not? So Power Apps actually allow you to build this form to capturing, right? User input, because you need to fill up basically is all the input. So these apps allow you to capture, right? And of course, then you can be the put your logic, right? And when we say logic, basically is a formula here, right? Or so how you want actually to capturing. Definitely, when this actually is Power Apps actually already capturing the input, then you may require. We know that example just now we talk about leave application. We require the head of the department to approve the leave application here. Then we need actually acquire the automation approval, right or not? So Power Automate in this case actually helping you to process it, the approval in the automated way. All right. Not only just actually is the so-called workflow, the approval, the process. Power Automate also contains, also consists of the, we call it RPA, right? They actually is the robotic, help you actually to recorded what actually you have been daily operation, you perform those actually is a business, the process, business form update, whatever, those actually is in the manual, you're able to capture it and record it. And the replay actually is using this RPA, the features in the Power Automate. This is a definitely no worry. Actually, it will be the next week. Actually, we will talk about a slightly little detail here. What is the other than this, right? What the Power Automate actually can helping you on the automated those business process. All right. Then actually I come back actually to the, so now we already have the data capturing. We have the approval already, right or not? So you copy this actually the Power Apps you build, you might want to allow, right? Maybe external party, it could be like a vendor, it could be like your customer, want to accessing the information from the Power platform, maybe application you build and so on, that actually you can be developed, so-called, we call it the Power Page. Previously, actually, they call it the part of the Power Apps, we call it Power Apps, the portal. But later part, I also explain on this. So this is external facing the website, allow actually, again, a vendor, and maybe customer accessing, and retrieve the data actually from your, the information actually from your, the data, which actually is on the cloud, could be, again, SharePoint, could be actually Excel, could be actually is a in this case, definitely Power Page actually will be integrated with the Dataverse. That is one of the actually is data. We call it the scalable the database. Actually, is fully managed, by Microsoft. So for the actually user or business user, right, they can actually to create a table. When we say a table, actually it consists of the row and columns, right or not? All right. So basically, it's a store the data information again from a business. All right. So this data was actually is the can use the Power Apps to connect to this the spatial type of the database. Again, is the user friendly in terms actually is they say the business user how want to create, just like you create the table in the Excel. But again, this actually is the powerful database, and then actually is the running and store in the cloud here. All right. So with this actually is the field, the production basically is the help you actually to the data store and also help you actually to the business, the other customer in terms actually is when they're able to access the information via the Power Page, right? All right. Of course, now we already have the data in the information store, could be in the Dataverse, could be the SharePoint. Now the business actually the decision maker would like to see the they are the sales, the information, the sales data, they are the performance, their productivity. So Power BI in this case actually help you actually to extract, right, the data. It can be from a multiple the source, right? Whether actually it's again from a Dataverse, from an Excel, maybe from your on-prem the SQL here. Then allow you actually to modeling your data and then present the information in terms into the reporting or the dashboard here. All right. So when actually you guys see what actually my explanation, all this actually is the product in the Power Platform here, right? They connected to the data here, right? Basically, they need a data connector. So in this case, you can say take this data connector is some sort like a bridge, or maybe as a connection. So mind that this data connector can be actually help you to connect to the different type of the data. Example, just now we talk about is Excel, Dataverse, SQL. It could be actually is a business the application Dynamic 365 here, right? Even the SAP as well. So we will have the few hundred of data connected can be connect different type. Those actually is the data, right? Okay, now. So we already explained actually is a few product here. Now, so today also with the I think everyone actually is taught AI right now. Yeah. So AI in this builder in the Power Platform here can help actually business actually is to what they call it intelligent actually is to capture the data, analyze the data, right? So integrate probably actually integrate with the Power Apps, integrate with the Power Automate. With this actually is an AI builder that can extract the information intelligent. It could be that the information in what I call it a picture format or photo format. It could be also help you to analyze those actually text. When actually is those text information or data actually from the customer or user to analyze actually is a customer the sentimental or maybe customer actually is their behavior, right or not? Yeah. So that actually is a AI builder is we can say is an add-on, right? And fully integrate again with this Power Platform example like Power Apps and the Automate. And the last and not least, right or not? So I think that also is you probably actually is you want to query, you want to actually request some information from the system. So basically, we need to call into the maybe customer service, right? So Power Vision Agent, this is the product here, right? Helping actually is the customer. They say they want to query information directly actually from the data again. Maybe database or data here, right? And then you can be integrate again with the Automate or Power Apps here, right? And help you actually to return the information, yeah, what actually is a customer inquiry. In this case, you can be actually to integrate this Power Virtual Agent. Another word actually is the chatbot, right? Integrate with your website. I think probably you guys see like Asia, maybe it is a Unify. They have the chatbot asking their ticket status. The Unify actually is issue the status and so on. So in this case, the Power Virtual Agent also can be achieve the business requirement to return they say the information inquiry by the customer here. All right. So this is the whole idea actually of the Power Platform here. All right. Of course, across this actually is a 5 weeks here, right? Today actually we will actually talk about the Power Apps here. Okay. All right. I just pause a few seconds. Any question actually from this slide here?
Maybe you can use your pencil to draw the connection.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks. All right, I forgot to actually I have the writing pen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's more easier to understand.
Yeah. Okay, will do. Right. So any question, of course, if there are any question, you always can stop me, can drop the question actually at the chat box. Yeah, all right. Okay, now, this jumping in actually is the first product we would like to introduce actually is the Power Apps here. All right. So you just think about the apps on your phone and the purpose, right or not? I think everyone actually have a mobile phone, right or not? Yeah. So you just go to the Google Play Store. If you're iPhone, then actually you go for the Apple Store, you download those apps and so on. Then actually you use those apps, maybe example, the easy one. Hey, I want to know my today's weather. Yeah, this is the Chinese year, actually is every day is raining. So probably is the weather, actually information is important to you. Yeah, right, and example, this is their purpose, right, and yeah. So same thing here, we can use the Power Apps actually to create the business application. All right, so this application example that just now give the business example. They say I have a lift application. Most commonly, actually, some of the business they want to submit their claim, right? Expenses claim. All right. So can I build this such an application for my company or not, organization or not? And then actually it can be accessible via the phone. When we say the Power App here, right? Actually, it's not on. You not only just can use the application in the mobile phone, but also the tablet. But you also actually can be accessible by the website, right? Basically, it's a web application. So if they say you are on the desktop PC, so if you're on the right hand side, this actually is a picture. So this is on the mobile. This actually is on the tablet. This is on the normally actually is on your PC or the laptop, right? Or not? Yeah. So it designed again for the desktop on the mobile device. All right. You can customize the SharePoint forms here. Originally, actually, the SharePoint, we need to use a SharePoint designer, right? I think if you guys actually, they say using the SharePoint, they say, I want to design the form, right? And I want to put this control here and there, right? That is traditionally we using the SharePoint designer. Unfortunately, not say unfortunately, actually, it's Microsoft also to, is in year 2026, if I'm not mistaken, they SharePoint designer already deprecated lah, so they won't actually need further development on the SharePoint designer. So they ask actually business user all switch to this the Power Apps here, right? So remember just like I said, when actually you build the Power Apps here, you need a connector. So we can connect to SharePoint. So basically you using the Power Apps here, right? To design the UI. When we say UI, is a user interface here lah, and then you connect the data to the SharePoint. So the data actually is one of them is a SharePoint. It can be the Excel again, it can be the SQL, it can be any type of those data, so long we have the connector. All right. So run as a service within the 365. Yeah. For the simple form, let's say you have the simple form, yeah, and quiz here, all right. Definitely not advisable is apps here, but if you get interested, actually is Microsoft form here, right? This actually is mainly used for the feedback form. So later part after end our TTT section, we also will send you the feedback form. Something is like that. Even actually you can use form here, right? If they say you want to make this the Power Apps form, example just now, you want to say capturing the business, the data, right? So Power Apps the most actually is recommended in this the scenario. Okay, all right. Okay, what is the benefit of the Power Apps here? So I think in early the first slide, I said that is the today business want to fast. Today business already got data, so we want to fast the development, right? We also can't wait the IT experts, right or not, or software developer. So business user actually can start immediate because it's very simple, right? Build a simple app in the minutes here. That actually is an advantage also for the business user or end user as well here. So you can create apps for your own use, all right? Share with your colleagues here. Very easy when you build the apps here, right? So I can share to different those user by the group, or maybe actually by those required to consume or use your application here, right? The other actually is the advantage here, right? Leverage the mobile device, the hardware, the features, right? Hardware, the features. Example, when you build this application, I just take a scenario. I can build, the clock in, clock out, yeah, all right? Clock in, clock out, something like time attendance, right? So I can tracking where is that the user using by this application, and then together I capture that the GPS location. This GPS location actually is a part of the feature from a mobile device. All right, I can using the camera actually to capturing the receipt. This receipt actually then we integrate with the AI, right or not, and then help you to extract out the information from a receipt you taken from a camera. So this actually could be another the business the case here, and many fit as well here. All right, leverage, microphone, and many more. Yeah, all right. you can connect to hundred of the business system to display, create, edit, delete information. Again, the data actually is not, when we say the data here, right? When you build the Power Apps here, right? My data not necessarily as a single type of data. I can connect to multiple type of the data source. All right. When we say data source here, it can be the SharePoint, Excel, and other stores actually is the business data or business application data. Example like Salesforce, ERP, like SAP, and so on. So when you want to build this Power App here, right? So we call it a control, right? Basically something like, hey, I want to have a mouse, the click button. Yeah, I want to have the button, a click OK. This click OK basically is a control which actually you can trigger your formula. Example, save the data into the SharePoint example, right? So that actually is the benefit of the Power Apps here, right? Okay, now, so in order actually to what they call it, to use and even to develop the apps, right? So Power Apps actually they have this few component designer in the web browser. So user, whoever actually they have the laptop, so long they got the browser here, right? So they can come to use actually to consume the application. If you are the Power Apps the designer, right? Or maker, we don't call the business user as a software developer, right? We call it as the maker or builder, right? Yeah. So then actually they can use this actually is the later part, yeah. I will maybe just a quick show you where actually these are the Power Apps, the portal or website, how I can actually build an application or design my application, even actually how to run this application to use it. Yeah, right. Definitely, you can integrate with the other services. Yeah, all right. Whether it's the Power Automate, whether actually it's the AI Builder, whether actually it's the Dataverse example. All right, anytime. Okay. Of course, you can be run the application or use the application here, right? From a Windows Store, or maybe actually from a mobile. Actually, you can download actually from the Android and so on here, Apple iStore here. So you can view, but you can't edit. Here actually it's more like running the application in your devices. Again, it can be the tablet. Again, it can be the mobile device here. All right. So where is the designer here? All right. So if based on this, the URL here, right? Just a quick one. Yeah. All right. Let me just the quick switch to the portal or website. Yeah. Here you go. Okay. This is actually a website here or portal here, right? Allow you actually to edit or run the application. So today, our demo later part actually is Li Fang will share with you how actually to run this application and even how to design create this application as well here. All right, maybe just a quick one. Yeah. All right. Hey, how to launch it actually is definitely you can be type the URL as just now I mentioned, or you can actually to launch an application by this 9 dot. I always say this is the 9 dot, but in fact, the actual is called an app launcher here. Okay. All right. Just actually is when you edit, they were doing some time here. Okay. All right. Oh, sorry. Okay, here you go. This is actually something you can come here to design your application here. All right. So this is all we talk about is a control. This is a control in terms we call it a data table. This control actually is the button. This control actually is a date picker. Yeah. Your date time picker. All right. Date picker. What is the date and so on you select. Some actually is those are the box like the label and so on. Yeah, just a very quick one. Yeah, but we can where is this is a component actually it's about allow business user to design, to build, and even to consume as well here. All right. So in Power Apps, we have the 3 types of the application. The first actually the introduce is the Canvas app. Second actually is the modern driven apps here. All right. Third one actually is the portal. Today already changed it. The first slide, we call it the Power Page. Okay, whatever here, but it's still actually talk about is a portal here. So basically, it's a build the website application kind of that. Yeah. All right. Let's jumping back actually to the Canvas apps here. Right. Canvas actually, if you want to build the application, the small, right? And yeah. So you can run it actually is on the mobile. All right. So Canvas app, before you build, basically they will ask you to choose. Yeah. When you develop, when you start, you want to build the apps here, right? They were asking you actually is a screen size. So you have to determine this application actually is mainly used by mobile or maybe mainly used by back office. When we say back office, probably actually from a laptop, from a tablet, right or not? So this is always asked that, all right? So Canvas actually is a fully customized. So basically, business user have to design it, the control. If you guys actually see this is a control example, and I want to have the what do you call it, drop down box, or I want to have the icon, or I want to have the list box, I want to have the text box, I want to have this button, I want to have this picture. So basically, it's a fully customized user to design based on the user interface to design for the business user to use the application here. All right. So you can interact with data in your apps by adding the data source. As I mentioned, the backend probably actually you connect to SharePoint. Maybe you connect to the Excel here, right? Whatever. So long again, we have the connector. All right. So you can drag and drop all the this control. And just now I talked about a few the example that drop down box, label, and so on here. All right. So that is a quick one. Okay, connect to your data and you already have and then using easily. So when you want to build a Canvas app here, right, you just connect the data, then they will help you automatically to populate the form to you. Yeah, all right. This is one of the way. Another way actually is the data part. We will talk about how we can build from the scratch here. Where Li Fang will actually demonstrate to you. All right. So we create app form without writing the code because actually when you use this connect data and build, right, they automatically actually just a few second. Yeah, I say few second. Yeah, it's fast lah. All right. Actually, sometimes a few minutes here lah. All right. You without writing any code, they will actually is automatically putting those the control, even some those the formula inside there. All right. If you not satisfy what actually is the flow or logic, you still can come and edit and modify. All right. You can use the apps again, any devices like web or mobile. We already talked about that. All right. Modern driven apps is a completely actually is a no code. Yeah. Not require the code. All right. But we will not actually to demonstrate on this because this actually modern driven apps fundamental, we might actually have the common data services. This is the old name now. Today, actually the new name is a Dataverse. All right. Yeah, sometimes I still putting on this old name because still actually is a name it or the CDS common data services. But new name is the Dataverse here. All right. So no code. Basically, you not required actually to write any code, but there are something called componentized. When we say componentized here, right? So basically, you are setting up the form. You setting up their view, yeah, form, all right, view, okay. Even the dashboard, if you see like this type dashboard, even actually business the process, basically they will integrate with the Power Automate, okay, business process. So then once actually you already design or modeling all of this data and information, you just run it. Yeah. One of the advantages with modern driven apps, you no need to determine what is the screen size because they will auto adjust. We call it the responsive. Okay. Right. So this is how the modern driven apps. Yeah. Right. Power Apps Portal here. So basically, this is also another low code the solution. I think probably some of you maybe we know outside actually some those the builder, right, or not to build the website. Example like workplace. Those actually is the quite popular. Those actually can automatically build the apps website portal. Similar like this case actually the Power Apps the portal here. So they can actually building the external facing the website here, and they can integrate actually with your security in terms like authentication. So basically you can be integrate with the maybe third party, example like Facebook, right? Of course, definitely they can be integrated with the Microsoft AAD lah, Azure Active Directory here. All right. So that is a quick one. Okay, now how to create an app? Just now actually I mentioned about from a data source here, right? So long I got data, right? So long I got data, just maybe quick one, right? So they say actually I come back to the Power Apps here, right? The portal. So long actually I have the data, I just come to the here saying that SharePoint, all right? This is something, and then I connect it. Yeah. Okay. Maybe just a very quick actually is how actually I can present with this. All right. So I have the data already. I have this SharePoint site. I maybe have the so-called the travel request here. So I just connect it. Yeah. So now actually they start building the Power Apps, the application for me. Yeah. Within a few minutes lah. Actually few seconds lah, but it's very fast. And then not required writing any code. This is how well already built for you, and I can start and run it. Yeah, so the application is ready, so I can edit. Yeah, amazing, right? Okay, right. So this is actually is just the one to show you from a data source. From a template, basically they already have the sample template example like service desk, help desk system is there. All right. Of course, later part we will just demonstrate from the blank canvas here. All right. So this is a multiple type way actually you can build your application here. All right. So remember I mentioned, right, connection, right? So long I have the connection here, all right. So they have the more than a few hundred actually is the connection. If you look actually from my slide here, you will find out actually some those are the icon or logo very familiar like Excel, Outlook, anything. Yeah. Not only just actually is the mostly actually when we say data, usually we understand actually it's a tabular, means actually it's table, right? Or not? But we also can be connect to the function. Example, weather. Yeah. All right. Example, translator. So these all also part of the connector. All right. So how to identify all of these connectors? Just maybe is a quick one again. So I can actually is coming back to the Power Apps here, right? Okay. Yeah. Right. So I come to this connector here. So this is actually is when you click the new connection here, right? This is all type the connector we have. Yeah, all type of connector we have. Commonly again like SharePoint. Yeah, OneDrive, translator, weather. So with this actually is more on the tabular, means table, row and column data here, right? Yeah, and even actually some of the services and so on. So that actually is the data source for connector here. All right, now, okay, now today actually we want to actually to show you this business scenario in the Power Platform. So this week actually we were focusing again the Power Apps. Next week automate following like this. But we give you actually is the whole idea how actually we build this end-to-end solution in terms of the our example business scenario here. So you just imagine the organization when every few years the employee they want to request the coffee machine. Yeah. So this is actually is the Power Apps that can access data part our demo. Yeah. So when we want actually to this once actually employee request, right, they require the approval. So require the approval here. So we use the Power Automate actually to achieve our approval process. We also allow employee actually can submit the form in the PDF. So AI actually analyze it actually is those are the data extracted from a PDF, then update into the our data source. In this case is a SharePoint. Yeah, all right. So we have the data, we have the information, then we're using the Power BI actually to build a data in the report in the dashboard. And we also leverage the Power Virtual Agent, in this case is a chatbot, to query, to request an inquiry, and what is the machine order status. So this is the whole business solution actually for the 5 weeks here. All right. So our learning objective here, yeah, we want to build the apps that can canvas for employee facing the device ordering. We build a separate canvas to complete the procurement process. So you can see the Power Apps here. Actually, I have the two use case. First, allow the employee to order the machine. Second, back end actually to process the procurement process. And the third one, we're using the Power Automate to build the approval for workflow for device approval. We use the AI Builder for the extraction, right, from the PDF. All right. So we use the Power BI report and dashboard. Yeah. And the last one, actually, we built this the chatbot for the Power using Power Virtual Agent to retrieve the order information. All right, this is just what I say. So these are our learning objective here: Canvas S, Power Automate, AI Builder, then the following like BI and the Virtual Agent here. All right. So that actually is the Canvas apps, our learning objective. Yeah. You can sign in, you can create this new Canvas app. We connect to the data source. First, the data source we are using actually Excel here. Then we filter according to the what I call it. When you click this actually is the icon here, right? Then actually the display, basically we filter according, this is the device type we are created, right? So we're working with a multiple screen. When actually I select all of this compare, this is a compare button, then they will navigate to this screen. So this screen allow you actually to choose. This is the one that actually I submit my machine request here. All right. So that actually is a learning objective working with a multiple screen here. All right. We can customize this gallery in terms here. This is called a gallery. Yeah, this is called a gallery. This also is a gallery here. We also will be the customize in terms of the control. Example, label. Example, check option box. Example, button. Example, actually is a label. Example, how we retrieve actually your login. You probably can see. Yeah, we have the standard on that. Yep. Right. So I think that is a quick one. Just want to show this is today our demo. Yeah. All right. Anyhow, Cole, I think I will pass to the Li Fang.
Yeah.
Yep.
So welcome Li Fang to do some demonstration on how the Canvas app is being created.
Yep. Thanks. Over to
Yeah,
you.
over to you.
Hello everyone, I'm Li Fang. I'm working in CCK. My strength is build the report and dashboard. I have some programming backgrounds on doing the simple program, but this Power Apps is quite new for me. So since BK already gone through the learning objective, now I start to my demo. Okay, let me share the screen. Okay. Everyone can see my screen now?
Yes.
Yes, we can see.
Okay. Okay, let's get started. First, this is the machine ordering apps. So this machine ordering apps is created in the tablet with Power Auto apps. So the features will be allow the user to browse through the selection of the coffee machine and allow the user select the machine to compare and view details back for the selected machine on the second comparison screen. So we have two screens. The first one will be main screen and the second one is the comparison screen. So now I start the demo of the apps. So this is how the machine ordering apps looks like. So just now BK got mentions there is the option button, selection, and then this is a compare screen. This is actually the second screen. All right. So firstly, I create a machine order apps in tablet format. So it's now ready, getting ready. So there is the main screen. So this is my first screen. Okay, I will create a header, so-called machine ordering. So I set the font to 18, make it bigger. and then set the position properly. So my Y position will be 0 and the X position will be 0. So that means the label actually is located at the rightmost of the screen. Next, I will make the color become black. And then this is set the font color to be gray. And the height. So this is the second label that I will show my user label. So maybe I put in some text, so-called hello, then user is the function, dot is the full name that's sent as a login name. So this is the position. So always X is refers to the horizontal positioning and Y is refer to vertical positioning. So I want to put the Y become 0, so it will put on the top.
I think what Li Fang actually here is a demonstrate basically is set the position of your control. In this case, actually is a label lah, right? Yeah, right. So like Li Fang mentioned, actually is the XY. So basically is the coordinate or position of the control here. All right. So Li Fang,
yes,
since actually we already said that this labeling is there. So how can I actually is to add a control basically to connect to my data source? I believe your data source is the Excel, right? Now, do you want?
Yeah.
To share with the, yep.
Okay, so this part is mainly for the headers and user label and logo. So I will skip this part and then I go through the data source, how we connect to the data source right now. Okay. Okay, firstly, I will create a left gallery, the so-called the machine type gallery. So this is the data source. I choose the data source from all the connectors here. Browse to import from the Excel from my desktop. So you may see there's two tables, one's called machine and another one is machine types. Click connect. This is the data source in the Excel.
Wow, I think that is a gallery actually can connect to the data. Basically, it's an Excel here, yeah, all right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think also this also is the to share to everyone just now actually we talk about is the connector, right? Or not? So what the Li Fang actually is demonstrate here, right? They use the control is called machine type. Sorry, it's a gallery. All right, this gallery actually is connect to the data. So long we have the connector is there, right? So in this case, I think she share actually here this connector actually is the Excel lah. Yeah, all right. That is cool one. Yep.
Yes, as usual, you set the location, the XY, then width, and so forth. So set the height. in this part, in the right hand side here, we point the data source to machine types, and I will select the layout become 2 columns. So I want make it become 1 column, so I set the rep count become 1.
So wow, basically actually you have the this the 2 column, but you only interested actually is the first the column, right? Is it correct?
Yeah, it will be in single column.
Okay.
Okay. Next, I will put the image. It actually is coding from the Excel file. You see the photo is a URL.
Yeah, I'm just going to ask, yeah, okay, how actually you display this picture, right? So I think you already demonstrate to everyone, basically your Excel, right, contain the URL that actually is the photo from the link, right?
Yeah, it's very simple. You just call the link from the Excel and they display it by simple calling by the function name, right?
Okay. So Li-Fan, question to you again, yeah, because I saw actually you have the 2 data source, right, or not? So how about another data source?
Another
Yeah.
another one is will be the one we so called. Let me skip because the time's constraint, so I will skip this part. This is my second data source.
Okay. So if I understand correctly, actually your Excel actually it's got 2 tables. One is the machine type, another actually is table for the machine, the order, the machine details, right or not? Yeah.
Yeah.
So one actually you connected to the gallery, another the one actually you connect to the gallery, right? Yeah.
Yes. So this is my photo. I call the photo. This one I call the machine name. And the third one, machine name is right. And the third one will be my price.
I think you just want to show the display from a different information on the gallery, right?
Yes.
Sorry, just wanted to know that this item is pointing to the column itself, right?
Yes, because the gallery actually just now I think Li-Fan to show you they connected to the data source is called machine. So if Li-Fan can you switch actually to the Excel? So your the question definitely is correct. They actually can pointing to the which the column, and when you connected to a data source, they will actually appear all those the column name. In this case here, we not call columns lah, but we call it a field lah. All right, but
Okay.
it's the same the concept. Yes.
Yeah, this is the Excel.
Yeah.
So we simply call this item dot photo, then it will display the image accordingly. It's very simple, right? Okay. Okay, we'll skip this part.
So
Okay,
mainly
this is
you are just adjusting the layout only, right? Right
yes.
now.
Yeah.
After
Yeah.
connected to the data source, most of the workload is to adjust the image.
Yeah, and the layout and positions, all those things.
Basically, you are right. Actually, we just want to feed it into the screen, right, Anna? Yeah. So I think Li Fang what trying to show is a position, adjust the control. Here we say control like image, like those label, text box, and so on. Yeah. Right. I think Li Fang, you're trying also to show actually is everyone here, right? You want to formatting your pricing right now. That actually you guys probably can see there is the formula. Sounds very familiar, right? Or not? It's a kind of like the Excel the formula. Yeah.
Yeah. In the text property, the left-hand side, the text we call property usually, and then formula is fx. Fx is quite similar to the Excel with the Excel formula. So it's very simple. You just use the text and these items price, and then set the price format. Let's say you want to put RM instead of $, you can put RM and then dash dash and so forth. Okay. So the price is display is formatted. So this is the width and view.
Li Fang, how can I actually to select the machine type? I believe the machine type and the machine detail, basically they had the so-called the relationship, right or not? If they say I select the first machine type, would it actually filter for me? All right, by the way, you are actually showing.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the formula. We can use filter, and then the machine is the table name. Machine type ID actually is the data field. Machine type gallery is on the right hand side here. So when I select the left hand side text label, and when the user selected the desired label, it will show in the right hand side there. So you can see type ID actually is the link key between two tables.
Wow, okay. Then I think actually is to whatever actually machine type is selected, actually they will filter accordingly what the machine type is selected on the left hand side. Yeah.
Yes.
Li Fang, you want to show that the formula again? Maybe just slightly, yeah. The filter. Oh, all right.
Sorry.
Hi, BK and Li Fang, Lorraine here. Just to let you know that we have another 5 minutes left on the clock.
Okay, sure. Thank you. Okay, Vicky, this is the formulas.
All right. I think I saw that just now. Actually, you had to select it. So I think that also is an answer when we selected the left hand side, the gallery, the machine type. Then they were actually equal to what actually is the machine order, the detail here, right? Field equivalent actually to what the machine type actually you selected, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we put a selected here. Type ID.
Okay, cool.
Okay. So this is the preview. Actually, this part I will create an alert if the item of order machine that selected price is equal more than 10K, it will display in red color.
Wow, this is an indicate actually to the employee, right? When they want to request the machine order, then actually they will be aware this is the more than 10,000, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's some kind like alert.
Cool.
Okay, next I will put the compare option. This compare option, the text we set to compare. This one actually is collect the selected options and assign into a memory. So it will remember what is the machine that you have selected. So when the user on check, the property is I set to the on check. And then uncheck, I will remove those selected item actually.
Oh, okay. So it means actually user when actually this based on this the option box, checkbox actually when they selected, then actually they will add that into the data, right or not? Yeah, in this case you say it's a memory, right or not? If they say user actually is to uncheck again, then they will remove from there, right?
Yes. Okay. So we'll skip this one. This one we set the first default machine. But every time the user log the apps, it always shows the first machine type.
Hey, Difang, I can see actually you already create an option box. Now my interest part actually is when I select the multiple those item, right? So how can I do that? Submit, way to submit actually. Yeah.
Okay, when the user selected the machine that he want to order, I create the button here.
Oh, okay. So I think this button actually is allow those actually whoever we selected, then actually they can kind of like submit, right?
Yes.
I can see the 3 items, yeah. All right.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3. So this is the positioning again. So we'll skip this one. When I have this compare button, I can set the display mode to enable or disable.
Oh, all right. So I can understand if they say I did not select, then the button actually not allow us actually to click, right?
Yes, you will disable.
Okay. I think you put in the logic is there to avoid the button accidentally to click. If they say it's not item selected, yeah.
Yes.
It's good logic.
So there is none machine selected, it become gray. Okay, lastly, I will go to the comparison screen. So this is I have insert a compare screen. This is the code header. I have grouped the header, the logo, the header label, and the user label become a group. So allow me to easy to copy those 3 control all together, then paste into the compare screen later on. So now
I think this is also good practice. I think this is a good practice. Actually, you want to make the same screen design to every screen, right or not? So you are duplicating, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Now I copy the compare list into my new screen. So I need rename it properly. Become my compare list gallery. Okay. This is the setting, the screen setting part. So I will skip this one. This item feature is actually also calling from the Excel table. So we have this one feature.
I think you start putting the details of the machine, right?
Yeah. Lastly, I will insert a back navigation button. My navigation button, actually when I click it will go back to the main screen.
Okay, okay. Navigate to screen. Yep.
Yeah.
Navigate back to the main screen. Yep. If you guys can see the Li Fang actually started the back the formula. I think simple, right? Just back only. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. Looks good.
Okay, this is end of the demo.
All right. Thanks, Li Fang. Okay, if you guys actually can see what the Li Fang actually demonstrate actually from a blank screen, right? From a nothing, right or not? What actually is did actually is connect to the data actually to the Excel, and then actually is populated those the information into the Power Apps form here, right? So whenever actually you selected actually those are the item you selected, then actually they navigate to another the screen here. So the screen, the compare screen, basically they retrieve actually data you have been selected into the memory lah. In this case here, then they appear that whatever you selected, there will be the display on the compare the screen. I think that is just now she did. In fact, actually, it's the due to time constraint. Actually, Li Fang also another part need to show you how actually is to pick those multiple the item you have been selected, right? Then actually you select what actually you want to submit, right? Yeah, that actually is one of the part also is from a Power Automate. I think that is also apologize to everyone here. The time actually is
It's
all
over.
right. Yes. All right. Go over to you.
All right. So thanks everyone.
Just
Sorry
wonder,
for
just wonder,
yeah.
is that possible to share out the Li Fang's video demo, because it's kind of fast forward.
Sure, no problem. I will actually upload the demo recording into a
Okay.
SharePoint, and I will share the link into the chat window.
I'm not. I mean the media itself, not the
Yes, correct,
meeting.
correct,
Yeah.
correct.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, I
Thanks.
will share both the session recording together with the demo recording that
Okay.
recorded by Li Fang.
Okay. Thanks.
All right, thanks. All right, so thanks everyone. Sorry for
Thank you.
overruns or for 10 minutes. And
Yeah, thank you everyone. Hope you enjoy it. Yeah.
Yeah, so do join us for next week on more about the area on the Power Automate from Power Platform, right? And once again, thanks for joining us, and see you again next week. All right. Thank you. Bye.
See you all. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Thank you for sharing. Good night.